One thing Resident Evil 3 Remake does better than Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil fans have criticized Resident Evil 3 Remake as lesser than both the original game Resident Evil 2 Remake, but the Resident Evil 3 does one thing better than Resident Evil 2. Okay, Capcom recent Resident Evil 3 Remake is generally looked down on by the fans who found it a disappointing in a wake of sterile Resident Evil 2 Remake. But Resident Evil 3 focus on action fixes and problem with Resident Evil 2, which runs into issues when trying to straddle the line between action and survival horror, especially when it comes to the player access to the unlimited saves. Okay, although the original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis were more action and oriented than its predecessors, some fans felt Resident Evil 3 Remake approaches the spectral first tune of the retro Resident Evil games rather than the methodical tension of Resident Evil and Resident Evil 2. Some Resident Evil 3 remakes change also the removal replayability, cutting the original life selection, story choices, and delivery a campaign that exactly the same in each run. Resident Evil 3 Remake is even better on a second playthrough at first. Resident Evil 3 Remake made up for this with its replay enhancing unlockable item shop, but it struggled in other areas too. Resident Evil 3 Carlos section killed its placing, especially on repeated playthrough. While these flaws make for the game that somewhat disappointing overall, its linearity and the emphasis of survival horror actually help it overcome the Resident Evil 2 remake in certain areas. Resident Evil 2 Remake unlimited save problems. How Resident Evil 3 fix it? Now watch it. Beside graphics, which Resident Evil 3 somehow managed to improve over Resident Evil already impressive look. Resident Evil 3 had a better ammo economy and save system than Resident Evil 2. Ammo and other resources in Resident Evil 2 are scarce, so players have to carefully manage their inventory. Many quickly discover it's better to run the zombie than to take them down, as some can afford of 15 bullets to fully kill. Introduction of the Remake 2, Mr. X Terralatin struggles complicated this. However, since beginning crashed into the heart of the previously avoided zombies can slip certain down. Ammo conservation is key part of the survival horror game, and there's a certain satisfaction to be found in survival with only a few bullets left. But enemies are essentially so brief and ammo is so scarce that Resident Evil 2 player can feel like they are just not playing the game right. And this wouldn't be a shoot if not the Resident Evil 2 save system. Unlike the original Resident Evil 2, where link rebounds were required to save at a typewriter, Resident Evil 2 standard and assisted the difficulty setting features unlimited saves since the player can save whenever they want. It's easier to simply reload a save from a few minutes ago and use a knowledgeable for that a bad and avoid a wasting ammo or healing items, making the game feel more like a series of memorized encounters than one cohesive act of survival. Certain sections of the game improved this by limiting the number of save rooms, but others so picked it's almost impossible to be in danger to satisfy the loss process. Resident Evil 3 also has a limited save, but it knows it's going for horror tamed action rather than true survival horror. Either more ammo is given out of for the zombie and much weaker and dogged system lets player avoid the zombies more easily, so they are never so out of resources that they feel need to scrap a section and try again. Resident Evil 2 hardcore mode use the link rebounds, but the most player won't try this difficulty until this mastered the others, leaving there the first few play game open to being married by an unsatisfying loop of saving and reloading. If Resident Evil 2 game out more ammo or its zombie felt less unkillable, the player wouldn't even feel the need to abuse its save system and optimize parts of runner. If it had a limited save, they would be able to, and the game would insist in crossed surviving any means possible. So this is the problem which was come in the Resident Evil 2, and the Resident Evil 3 remake fix it. Thank you for watching my video. Like, subscribe and comment my channel Tech Solution Gaming. Okay, bye bye.